Well, today we're going to talk about an extremely hot urban legend today, the backroom. I think that now people are no longer unfamiliar with the word parallel universe, but probably not through what it's like to actually see a parallel universe. Today I'll show everyone a little bit of what a parallel universe looks like. Why do I say that? Because someone went, then finished taking this photo. This photo, overall, gives people a feeling of inconsistency, completely unimaginable what kind of place this is. But this place is the backroom that today we're talking about. January 2022, on YouTube, there's a channel called Kien Castle posted a video. From here is the Bloom original video found. This video came out. About 9 minutes later, it had about 40 million views. In this video there are some young men who seem to be filming a horror movie, or really scary near the front, like there's a loan from the director holding a plate with a date written on July 8, 91, around 31 years ago. Then the director and the cameraman said something to each other. The kid went back, kept going back, fixed the drill, dark black. It seemed to have fallen to the ground, waiting until the camera was back, then discovered that this camera was in a yellow room. This room is the place we saw earlier. On the ceiling there were rows and rows of LED lights, emitting the sound of electric current sizzling. On the carpeted floor it sounded dangerous, giving off a musty smell. Next, the cameraman with the water turned up very loud, "Is anyone there?" And washed, started looking for the exit to this place. Although there were a lot of lights, there were still a lot of dark corners. He kept going and suddenly heard something behind him. Just turned around, then saw something was following him, but it was hiding from him. So he kept turning back. It hid, following this guy's calculation. We also saw in the room later, even on the wall, the arrangement of the pillars was completely different. Going to different places, the layout arrangement also completely different. Sometimes between the walls there are cars, looking through these trays. Behind the walls is still the denominator of these videos. Tried to post about half a year ago. Then only this YouTube channel has successively posted about 12 more videos like this. These are all very old videos. Then watch, then 1 minute long, then more than 10 minutes. Bring these videos Crocodile King together, actually you will have a story. In the 70s to 80s of the last century, the world's leading outlets discovered an extremely serious problem. That is, the world's population is increasing rapidly. Actually, the world's population today is also increasing rapidly. Calculated at the present time, the total world population is about 7.9 billion people. At this rate, by 2050 the world's population will exceed 10 billion. The increase in population can lead to two extremely serious problems. The first is environmental destruction, because humans will need more and more living environments, which will cause the natural environment to shrink. Furthermore, we still have more industrial products, which can cause environmental pollution. Population growth can also add another serious problem, which is the depletion of resources. Anyway, thinking that you cannot regenerate, like oil and coal, is limited. Currently, globally, there are many countries that often have power outages, and the population is stretched to more than 10 billion. And just having power outages and water outages can be a very, very common situation. And environmental destruction can eventually lead to the living conditions of people getting worse and worse. And resources will be depleted, which can lead to a world war, because at this time, people will fight over a resource, right? Because to avoid these things from happening, a long time ago, 50 years ago, there was a company called Sanitation, a world-leading technology company, that came up with a solution, which was to expand another space for ancient people to move a part of the population to another place to live. Everyone knows that we are currently faced with a rapidly growing population. Vinamilk SpaceX company has researched and developed the migration plan to Hoa. This is not called a migration plan to Hoa, but a plan to expand the parallel universe. I'll say it straight, that's the space we have, this is just on different levels. We will expand another universe, overlapping our space layer. We don't need to go too far to find it. At that time, it was called KV-331, which is also the back home project that we are talking about. This project has always been going very smoothly since the beginning. At the same time, on October 5, 1982, the first space experiment was conducted. How did it open up the parallel universe? It was like this: using a strong magnetic field, it would create a country in space, and then from this country, it would open a technical plane called low asymptotic magnetic field technology. But unfortunately, the first experiment ended in failure. Because after experiencing 2 failures, Sin Company has continuously adjusted the details and upgraded its equipment, and also received great support from the US government. Then on July 2, 1988, the formula was 6 years after the first 2 tests. When conducting the 3rd experiment, the first time opened the parallel space-time gate 11 ways. Then it was immediately closed. On the other side, there was nothing clearly visible, only light could be seen. Because of such a successful experience, Sin Company made 7 other adjustments to the experiment. And then the 4th and 5th experiments were conducted, and finally on October 17, 1989, the Friday experiment successfully opened the gate, not parallel to the variable. After opening, it was behind the door. Behind this door is an area of up to 1.5 billion square kilometers that the company built in the parallel universe. This space was designed by them, so as soon as it was opened, the design was completed directly. Not yet, Uncle is formed, all our rooms. Hope people can live in these rooms. This area is equivalent to about 3 times the surface area of the Earth. This place is only used for living. There are no doors, no windows, all are like partitions. This is the child that at the beginning the cameraman fell into. Why we fell in, I will tell you later. After the backroom was built, initially the rescue workers of Things Company on the coast finally solved the problem of population, see? But gradually they discovered some serious problems. First, after the backroom was opened, it was at 5:04 p.m. on October 17, 1989 in Florida, USA. There was a 6.9 magnitude earthquake. This earthquake has really happened in history, when many buildings collapsed and caused the death of more than 270 people, thousands more injured. From then on, the company continuously discovered that there were civilians who fell into the backroom, also like the cameraman at the beginning. So in the end, what kind of person fell into the backroom? Why did they fall into the backroom? The company was completely clueless. At first, they couldn't know that there was someone inside. Later, they discovered that there was someone inside. Once the workers fell into the backroom, it was very difficult to get out because the area inside was too large, and the only exit that the company knew was the door they opened. Parallel time and space had no other exit. Furthermore, inside, it was like we just saw it. It was like those workers couldn't find a clear direction, so it was extremely difficult to find the door. Sometimes a door appeared on the wall, but when they passed through it, it was still a room, not a real exit. People kept falling into the back room. Therefore, the number of missing people in the real world has been steadily increasing. In fact, according to statistics from a US National Crime Center, the number of people who lost everything in the United States increased sharply from about 1990 to 1995. Because their testing facility is located in the US, other countries have people who fell in the back room. They don't know either, so if they can't get out, where can Paraguay come from? Some people can still find a way out. The videos that were uploaded are mostly taken out of there, and there are still many people who fell in there. 40 through the video recording, which means that the missing population at that time was most likely to have fallen into the back room. Later, if they don't return me to the missing room, it's a tension like that, and the company that was born very quickly realized that between the real world and the room, yeah, there probably exists a way to connect them together. There are some people who can get in without going through the entrance, so they immediately organized an exploration team to go into the back room and start exploring so they can find a way back. When they get in, they also need a rope, a very long rope.
So why design a space-time like this?
Actually, at first, they didn't design it like this. It was like normal. Everyone was the same. Each person had their own separate compartment, like that. But after being created, it was discovered that the area was completely flat, seemingly without a partition like that. They also did not stay like that. So after the company opened the space-time gate, they established a standard code of conduct for exploring the backroom, which included not entering the backroom alone. After entering the backroom, at least 3 people had to act together. Based on this rule, researchers from the company formed a small probe into the room and then began to explore. After entering, they discovered a thing that looked like a dried corpse on the floor. They then brought this corpse. These people went all the way to the exit, but he did not see the exit. He did not know that there was an exit around there. Biomedical scientists analyzed this corpse and discovered that this person was actually dead. The cause of death was malnutrition, but strangely, his internal organs did not die. These vital organs were covered by some kind of mysterious fungus. Not only did they not rot, but they were more pineapple, and it still works well. So it's a bit like the original zombie color. Then later found out that in the later period there were some scary creatures living in it. These creatures eventually automatically spawned when the room was formed. 2 is from Earth into this, then don't know, but on Earth there isn't, also maybe after entering from Earth, then mutated to those creatures, and also maybe from parallel universes, thirsty to enter. Actually, inside there are also people, very possibly not people from our universe, that is from other parallel universes, also fell in. And these scary creatures may have attacked the people who fell into the room later, then implanted a type of fungus on them, meaning to us must be a type of source of nutrition. So these people all died from malnutrition, that is, they sucked our nutrients. And these mushrooms after sucking nutrients can grow very large, like humans, and can also develop into human form, moving very fast. Next time, find other survivors. Immediately uncle took them and plowed the mushrooms up again, and then developed into a human. It is a type of fungus, not a plant, currently suspected to be a human who fell in here and then went to another type of plant that parasitized it, then sucked the human's DNA and developed itself like that. And the more people fell in there, the more this thing there was. So 30 years have passed, there are probably a lot of these things in there. And later, when monitoring, it was discovered that this thing has the ability to imitate human voices to urge people who fell into the back room. That means when you fall in, you are alone, you are very scared because there is no sound around. Then it suddenly imitates. When it sees people talking, it immediately sucks you in and attacks you. Of course, there is not just one monster in the back room. There are many. They are not creatures that exist in the real world. Currently, someone has arranged and classified them based on their level of danger. They can roughly be divided into 8 types, from level 0 to 7. 0 is completely harmless. Level 1 is not actively attacking, but it may have thorns like a hedgehog, so if you don't attack it, you won't be injured. And level 2 is the type that doesn't actively attack, but has the ability to fight back. And the third type is actively attacking but is quite weak. We can beat one person. And the fourth type is actively attacking in terms of strength, is similar to humans. The fifth type is actively attacking and is stronger than humans. The sixth type is extremely dangerous. The seventh type is already a high-class type. That means if it is encountered, it will surely die. These creatures all have their own characteristics. I will introduce to everyone 3 very special types. The first is monster number 3, called Smile. They all have codes. This is a level 4 monster that is more active in attacking and is as dangerous as humans. They eat people and also actively attack, but they are weak. They really like light sources, so if you encounter this type of file, you should throw a flashlight or anything bright in your hand. Then it will be temporarily attracted to the light source and you can run away. But when you fall into it, how in hand and have a flashlight can be picked up that in there. That means when you explore in there, you'll probably discover a lot of props that can be, because this system when formed automatically brought, you have to collect tools until finally escape from here. Continuously explore to free yourself. To find the exact path is very difficult. There is still another type of monster that is extremely difficult to speak, that is number 8, Hunting Dog. It looks a bit like Sirocco crawling on the ground. It is a level 4 monster that lives together, but sometimes its saliva is a type of poison that, after being bitten by a human about 30 minutes later, it will be turned into a zombie and turn into a living monster like a hunting dog. That means it has turned into it. So in the back room, the number of this hunting dog is also increasing continuously. To deal with the hunting dog also need to use its characteristics. That is, it often makes a non-threatening sound like this, "Here I am." Once you hear this sound, run away immediately, there is still time. There is another famous mineral, that is monster number 62, called Spiderweb. That is a level 5 monster, much stronger than humans, meaning that once they are caught, they will surely die. They suddenly win a prize and fall from the ceiling and run very fast, much faster than humans. It is also related to the person in the range that we introduced at the beginning.
What kind of monster it is?
Until now, it is still unknown. In the back room, in addition to the monster, there are many tools that you can pick up, all of which can be used to save your life. For example, in the back room, you can pick up a type of jelly called royal food. Eating just 1 piece a day can support a day of rice, so it is very important. Everyone who has eaten this thing says that this is the best thing they have ever eaten in the world. In the back room, there is also an extremely special type of mirror. This type of mirror looks no different from a mirror in the real world, but it has one characteristic. If you look at it for a long time, you will see some scenes in the real world. For example, your relatives. They are living happily, so this mirror is very dangerous. Oh, why is that? Many people after seeing this scene, comparing it with the reality of walking on the carpet, to create depression and eventually die in it. So this type of mirror should not be looked at too much. It will make people lose their courage to live. And the second clip is on February 29, 1990. The company gave birth to potatoes in the past and the next room. After that, although he did not see any scene now, while walking, someone heard someone around. It seemed like someone said that he had gone in the direction of Con. The result was that this was a dead end with no one around. When he was about to return to the team of 4, suddenly the remaining 3 people suddenly disappeared in front of him, leaving only him. After that, he started to frantically search for his friends. The important thing is that among the 3 people who came and went, there was one person holding a rope. After that, the person disappeared, and this person was no longer there. He could not find his way back. After that, I don't know how he got back, but while filming, we filmed a door that looked like the exit according to what we saw in the video. Every room has a row of dark yellow statues like this for each other. Even there is a scene like outside, so she will think that she has gone out. But this world is dark like this. There is no one, terribly scary. According to the video recording, the time the 4 of them entered the back room is 11:36 a.m. on February 29, 1990, but in reality, 1990 did not have February 29th. This proves that the world in the back room may have a bit of completely independent time, unlike the time axis in our real world. Because in the back room, there may exist dangerous creatures, so on March 5, 1990, the company built an outpost base in front of the entrance of the back room and installed many surveillance cameras in the room. As a result, they filmed the silhouettes of some giant creatures, clearly felt that they were avoiding human observation. And then on the 5th, May 6, 1990, discovered a room on the floor full of holes. When passing through this room, the person in charge passed but unfortunately fell into the hole and discovered that he was also after endlessly. This proves that the back room also does not have just one floor but many floors. Initially, it was discovered that there were a total of 9 floors. Gradually, it was discovered that there were countless subfloors, and there were some very unusual gods. Until now, it was discovered that there were hundreds of floors. How many floors there were in total is unknown. That is, inside it, in the end, how big is unknown. The yellow room that we saw earlier is called the need for something, also called the lobby. The first floor is the habitable area. The second floor is called the pipe dream. The third floor is the power station. The fourth floor is called the abandoned office. The fifth floor is the hotel. The sixth floor is the power outage.
The seventh floor is called the ocean fear.
The eighth floor is called the cave system. Each floor has some special monsters and objects, even with its own physical principles. In the back room, there is also an extremely scary area, called the void. In this area there is nothing, a pitch-black area.
People who fall into the void will fall into endless darkness.
In there also cannot die, because time is stopped. In the back room, there are too many unknown dangers. The creatures in the back room later very likely to return to our world. If they come, then the consequences are unimaginable. So the company soon decided to permanently close the door between the money changer and the back room. As a result, 1 year after closing the door, that is July 8, 91, the video-making formula, right at the beginning, the cameraman fell into the back room. So for the real world, the back room is still a threat. Everyone, if not careful, can fall into it. In what state, then fall into the background? Up to now, also know roughly. That means when people enter the state of nothingness, it is very easy to fall into the back room. What is the state of nothingness? Is it near death, extreme weakness, or is when it enters the gun, somehow becomes completely empty, the person will fall into a state of nothingness. At this point, the person is very likely to fall into the back room. The cameraman is likely to be hit by something, that is, a double head falling down, so he points to fall into the back room. Moreover, this state of nothingness, also when people go through the floors in the room, here is the information known so far. Finally, I will talk to this section a little bit about the back room. That is the part on May 12, 2019, there is an anonymous person who posted an article saying that he hopes for the person who posted some pictures that make the viewer feel uneasy, but not physically uneasy, but the type that the more you look at it, the more you think about it, the more you feel uneasy and scared. As a result, the first photo to appear is this man. It feels like it was taken by someone somewhere called, but no one can say where this is. You want to take a photo like that, also cannot be taken out. There is no door or window. Of course, there is also a number of other people's ratings on it. Speaking of this, I'm sure everyone has realized that the backroom that we are talking about today is actually an online work. Based on a photo, creates a story, a universe, a world. Of course, there is not only one. This work there are many, this is just one of them. You can base on to create your story to make your video. The biggest difference between telling UCP is that it is in the budding stage. This photo first appeared in 2019, so until now it is only 3 to 5, and SCP has appeared for more than 10 years. So it is the first, everyone can keep up with the strategic period of a work, bring the video to the company sin without just introducing to everyone. It is created by an island over 16 years old. Many famous directors also gave very high ratings to his video, saying that in this video, he has inserted, a lot of classic horror elements. Unlike a newcomer, the whole work is also very sophisticated and elaborate. That room itself does not exist. It is not rented a location and then filmed, but used 3D technology to draw, so the technical level is extremely high. No matter how you look at it, it doesn't look like a work that a 16-year-old director can make. It feels like a big producer. Thank you for watching. If you want, you can subscribe to watch the next videos.